Rock and Roll Reviews, and I am overjoyed to be joined by one of the members of In Solitude. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine.
Welcome to Glasgow.
Thanks.
This isn't your first time here though, is it, to Glasgow?
No, we've been here, I think it's once or twice before.
Mm-hmm.
We were here with Amon Amarth once, and can't remember if we were here on our last tour. Yeah, but 1 or 2 times.
Yeah. You guys have been like really busy in such a short period of time. You put out quite a lot of albums and you tour quite a lot. Since your last release though, you've been playing bigger shows. I'm sure I read that you did Hellfest this year.
Yeah.
Is that right? How's that been, playing to bigger crowds? Has that been like a bit of a challenge, or has it been a lot of fun?
It's definitely a challenge, but it happened, in such a strange way that you sort of suddenly you realize it's becoming bigger. Maybe when we played Hellfest. When we played Hellfest, maybe in that moment you realize that it was you have to do it in a different way, because it's bigger. But coming there, it was a very smooth transition of things, But yeah, it's definitely. I mean, if you have that amount of people to play for, you play in a very different way.
Yeah,
it's you're reaching further. In
more energy as well, I would imagine, to feed off with the crowd. When you guys approach writing music, are you aware that you need to better each album, or is it a case of that you don't put that pressure on yourselves as musicians? You just write what feels comfortable, or?
I think that's just it's that way of thinking is just in us. We don't even. It's always been like that. And I think it is for a lot of people making music or art or writing or whatever, that you're trying to solve something and you get better at it, but you still have to do something even more proper the next time, to reach further in what you're looking for. So we're probably thinking like that, but not in a sense that it's stressing us or anything like that. It comes very naturally to be very selective with the ideas that really are taking things further.
Yeah, and do you, as musicians, do you only focus on writing songs during the album writing process, or are you always writing music when you're on the road, or?
Well, this particular band has been a bit like that around albums. We've had like a very intense periods of writing together. Mm-hmm. But it has changed a bit. I think everybody writes, a little bit all the time, and a lot of it doesn't even go to the band, it goes to other projects or personal musical projects or whatever. So there's a constant creative process, but when it comes to the band, the most important period is around that, around the album, when it's the 5 of you together doing it, Mm-hmm. So it's been a bit like that, but we're writing more in rehearsals and coming up with stuff on tour or whatever.
Yeah. And what would be, like, say, the time scale for your next album? Are you even thinking about that yet, or is it more a case of you're just going to concentrate on your tours at the moment? Or?
Well, when we get home, a new album will definitely be, in our heads. So maybe in a year or something like that. I don't know. We haven't planned that far yet,
That's not a bad
This
thing.
album sort of overshadowed everything when it was out and we started playing with it. So we had to, get back to that place again, And it can be hard sometimes.
Yeah, and you guys are on Metal Blade Records, and that's a record label that has like a really big, diverse group of bands. That must be pretty cool as an artist, sharing a label with acts that have been around for a long time, up and coming acts, acts like yourself that have been very well established. I mean, was that always was that the dream, was to land on a label like that and then just grow as a band with bigger crowds and all the rest, or are you still aiming for the biggest possible thing you can be as musicians?
No, I think it was more from a technical point of view. We needed a label in the sense that we just wanted to get our things out and be able to tour and so forth. I mean, the dream would be to do. I think everybody feels that way in most bands, to do everything yourselves and be able to, because I miss that a bit, coming from an underground background. There's a different vibe about doing everything yourself. On the other hand, it's been it's been a great album, label for us, but we're not. I don't think we're aiming higher or something like that. You just need some people that you can really trust and work with.
Yeah. As your band is moving on just now and stuff. I mean, the country that you come from has a very, very powerful music scene. There's a lot of bands, like a lot. I mean, kind of coming up through that environment. I mean, there's a lot of bands being picked up on record labels as that as well. I mean, do you get much of an opportunity to kind of play shows with the bands that you used to play back in the day with, or is it, has that environment changed?
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of our friends who came from the same underground environment are on bigger labels now as well, and are gaining a lot of recognition. So, you mean like bringing friends along that are definitely. I mean. Friends we have that have these smaller bands, we really try to include them. And me and our bass player and the singer from Batain has started a sort of a label thing, so we'll be giving out stuff by friends who, we released a 7-inch with a girl called Anna Norberg, which is a close friend of ours. And that was that kind of thing. But that's our opportunity, because both of us are with bands that are on quite big labels. This is our opportunity to use what we learned in making fanzines or having labels or whatever. It's good to be back in that as well.
So you're touring the UK just now. When that tour finishes, what else is happening for In Solitude for the rest of the year? And do you have any dates that we can tell our listeners about for next year? Is anything booked so far? Or?
There are some things planned. I think we're gonna hopefully we'll tour America, and I know we're gonna play Iceland at one point. I'm looking forward to that. But apart from that, we don't have that much plans. We're gonna take it a bit easier, I think, for a while. Probably right, I would guess. Yeah.
Because you guys have been really busy this year.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, very, very, very busy.
Yeah. And the website that we primarily, do reviews for, covers things like music releases. We also do movie stuff as well. Do you get much of a chance to watch films?
Yeah. I mean, I was just watching a film before we did this. I mean, it's a good the touring situation is quite. You think you have all the time in the world to read and watch movies, but in the end, it's not really any time. So, but when you find those like everybody's doing right now, and you find this moment to have a corner on your own, I tend to watch movies or read.
Anything that you've seen this year that you've really liked, movie-wise?
New films,
or anything you've not particularly liked? So.
I haven't watched that many new films. Right now, I'm watching a lot of experimental films by a girl called Maya Deren.
Right.
She made these movies a long time ago. I think it was in the 40s, and she's a really inspiring character and really nice movies. But that's really visual-based films, But she's amazing. I've been watching that a lot.
And does that, from that point of view, because you're quite interested in that, do you feel that influences yourself as a musician as well?
Definitely. Music is all about moods. And it's in some respects it's quite similar to experimental film or silent film. There's a lot to feed off there as musicians, I think. The dynamics of atmospheres and so forth. And then visually, of course, you can use things and get very inspired by that sort of stuff.
That's excellent. Well, thank you very much for your time. I hope you have an excellent gig tonight.
Thanks.
And the guys are out touring the UK at the moment, so make sure you go and check them out. Thanks very much.